Hey, it's my last day of the Unhurried Productivity experiment. I've just been for my last surf and feeling bloody good. I came here nearly 3 weeks ago to experiment with a different rhythm of working and to see how I could be productive without getting really busy and having a sense of achievement and making stuff happen, but at the same time having a different rhythm to the days. And I've learned so much. So I thought I'd just share 3 lessons that I've been rattling around in my head that keep bubbling to the surface, which I reckon are relevant to all of us, even if we don't come on a surfing trip to the Taranaki. So the first one is you can't have productive without unproductive. It's kind of like you can't have the light without the dark. You need to have both, the dual drivers. And what I'm really appreciating is the value of stopping, of allowing myself to be unproductive, as frustrating as it can be sometimes. That's where creativity happens. That's where new energy comes from. Just to run myself on fumes is just crazy. And so deliberately breaking my days down and my weeks down into times where, actually, no, I don't have to do anything, is such an important lesson. And I think that can go for all of us. We can design our days to have unproductive time in it, in the classic sense of unproductive, not doing, just thinking, just letting go, surrendering. So that's number one. You can't have the productive without the unproductive. Number 2 is, I think hurried is a state of mind, not a state of movement. And what I mean by that is you can be moving really fast, but have absolute mental clarity, absolute inner calm, while appearing to be on the surface hurried. And on the contrary, you can also be not doing anything and be feeling really hurried. All sorts of thoughts running around your head, confusion, cloudiness. And what I reckon we need to think about with hurried is it's a way of thinking, it's a way of inner state as opposed to outer state. And the more mental clarity you have, the calmer you are, the more effective you can actually be, the more productive you can be. So it's a state of mind, not a state of movement. And cultivating that state of mind is really, really key. And the third one is this idea of walking the line between making stuff happen and letting stuff happen. And if you've seen my post about the model and the 4 quadrants, it's about being able to be fluent and fluid to move across all 4 of those quadrants and know where you are at any one time and how to maximize your time there, and then knowing when and how to move from there. And this, one of the key distinctions in the model is between making stuff happen and letting stuff happen. And I reckon it's about, at a practical level, being able to say, all right, actually, I'm good with distractions right now. I'll just bring them on. If there's phone calls, if there's things I want to read on Facebook and whatever, have a time for that, allow that to happen. And then have a time where that's just not on. Have space for deep thinking, deep work, where distractions are not good at all. I think often we say distractions are bad. In fact, distractions can be good. They can take you down rabbit holes where you could potentially learn a whole lot of other stuff and allow you to see things from different angles. So I think it's more about being able to have time for certain things, and that's walking the line between making stuff happen and letting stuff happen, and knowing how to put boundaries around that. I'm going to be writing a lot more about this experience and how it can apply to you, regardless of your context, where you're at, what you're doing, how life is. I think it's just a really important, this idea of being productively unhurried, because the other alternative is hurriedly unproductive. Well, that's crazy. And productively hurried is also not sustainable. So, anyway, I feel like maybe I'm rabbiting on a bit long. I've got to drive back to Wellington now. So I'll sign off. Farewell from Taranaki. And thank you so much for following along. And I hope you've learned a lot too. I hope there's a lot that's got you thinking. And I hope there's some practical stuff that's come out of this video. I'll see you again soon.